Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. I am Lisa Gordon, Senior Contract Planner with Rincon Consultants, working as an extension of City of Oxnard Planning Division staff. The project being presented before you tonight is for Planning and Zoning Permit Number 23-500-03, a special use permit for the Mr. Softee Commissary located at 811 Mercantile Street. The applicant is requesting special use permit number 23-500-03 to allow for the renovation and tenant improvement of an existing 8,400 square foot warehouse building on a 23,286 square foot parcel within the heavy manufacturing zone. Development includes the conversion of 4,290 square feet of existing tenant space into a new mobile food commissary, a 575 square foot truck wash area, a 262 square foot trash enclosure within 9,458 square feet of existing yard space, and parking for 17 food trucks also located within the existing yard space. The project will also include reconfiguring the parking along Mercantile Street, including the addition of landscape planters along the front of the building and fronting the street. Accessible access throughout the site will be upgraded consistent with current codes. New fencing and a new fire hydrant will also be added to the site. The project site is located at 811 Mercantile Street and is currently developed with an existing multi-tenant warehouse building, a portion of which is occupied by a separate tenant, an automobile repair shop. This is the street view of the site, and it shows the existing building as viewed from Mercantile Street, looking north and looking towards the east side of the building. The existing tenant is Sanchez Auto Electric. As seen from the aerial view of the project site, the site is surrounded by a variety of automotive and industrial uses to the north, south, east, and west, and also to the south of the Hideaway Bar. The project site fronts Mercantile Street to the south and east. The main entrance is on Mercantile Street to the south, and a second one-way driveway is located north of the building on the east side of the property. These driveways will be gated. However, the main entrance gate will be open during business hours. The site is within the Central Industrial Area, General Plan Land Use Designation, and the Heavy Manufacturing Zone District. The General Plan Land Use Designation and zoning generally allow for heavy industrial uses, including uses which involve outdoor storage and use, and vehicle and equipment storage and repair. The project site contains an existing 8,400 square foot building, parking, and chain link fencing. The original building was permitted in July of 1967 and has generally remained in the same configuration. An existing tenant, Sanchez Auto Electric, occupies a portion of the building. The food commissary business will occupy the portion of the building previously occupied by West Coast Motors. As shown in the proposed site plan, development includes the conversion of the 4,290 square feet of existing tenant space into a new mobile food commissary, a 575 square foot truck wash area, a 262 square foot trash enclosure within the 9,458 square feet of existing yard space, parking for 17 food trucks also located in the yard. The project will also include reconfiguring the vehicle parking along Mercantile Street, the addition of landscape planters along the front of the building and along the street. Accessible access throughout the site will be upgraded, and the new trash enclosure will include a cover, walls for screening, and be consistent with the city's current trash enclosure requirements. The existing building includes space for two tenants, one large tenant space on the left and the existing auto repair on the right. The proposed floor plan on the right side of the slide shows that the building will be separated so that the larger tenant space will be in two spaces. Additional restrooms will be added, as well as a walk-in cooler and a wash area. The existing building consists of concrete masonry blocks accented with metal awnings over tenant entrances and painted in a tan color. Exterior changes to the building are minimal. However, the building will be repainted in a variety of soft gray tones with darker gray and light blue-gray accents. A new trash enclosure, a metal canopy for the truck wash area, and new fencing will be added to the site and finished compatible with the main building. Consistency with the 2030 general plan is defined by the relationship between the general plan policies and the proposed project. Many policies are directly or indirectly applicable to the proposed project. Some of the key policies are Community Development Policy 1.2, Infill Development Project, Policy 4.2, Commercial Revitalization and Redevelopment, Policy 5.2, compatible land use. Policy 15.6, share of regional taxable sales. Policy 18.1, which intends to attract new businesses to the city. The project is located within the heavy manufacturing zone district and would conform to the applicable heavy manufacturing development standards outlined in the Oxnard City Code. The special use permit approval will include approval of the fencing location in a portion of the front setback. A new 8-foot-high wrought iron style metal fence with mesh screen is proposed, as shown in orange on the site plan. The proposed fence is consistent with Oxnard City Code requirements for height and screening in industrial zones. Section 16-311 contains a standard for fencing to be set back from the front property lines by 10 feet unless the fence is reviewed and approved by means of a special use permit. A 50-foot portion of the fence, including a gate, is located on the southern property line in front of the project site, which is circled in red. The placement of the fence does not require a deviation or a variance from the code requirements, just approval of the location on the site plan as part of the special use permit approval. In accordance with CEQA guidelines, section 15301, class 1 existing facilities, and 15303C, class 3 new construction or conversion of small structures, projects involving negligible or no expansion of use beyond that existing at the time of the lead agency's determination, or projects involving construction and location of limited numbers of new small facilities or structures are to be exempt from the requirements of CEQA. The project meets the requirements of the Class 1 and Class 3 exemptions because the project site contains an existing industrial building and yard, and the proposed project involves negligible expansion of the existing use and involves only minor construction of new small facilities and structures. The project is consistent with the zoning and general plan land use designations of the site. The use does not involve the use or storage of significant amounts of hazardous substances, and public services and facilities are available to the site. No exceptions to the exemptions apply to defeat the exemptions. As part of the project's approval and provided as attachment E of the staff report, the following conditions of approval have been added to the project. The developer shall provide an accessible pedestrian path between the trash enclosure, building entrances, and accessible parking spaces. The developer shall construct a public fire hydrant. The developer shall capture all water used for washing trucks at the car wash facility and route the water to a pre-treatment system prior to discharge into the city sewer system. The pavement in front of the property is less than 10 years old. If trenching of the pavement occurs, the project shall grind and overlay curb to curb along the frontage unless approved otherwise by the city engineer. And the developer shall submit a security plan for review and approval by the police department. A community workshop was held for this project on November 20th, 2023. There were no public speakers on the item. Notices of the workshop were mailed to property owners within the 5 Points Northeast neighborhood and posted on the project site. Notice of the Planning Commission hearing was provided via a newspaper advertisement, on-site posting, and mailed to property owners within 300 feet of the site. No comments have been received as of the preparation of the staff report or this presentation. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission find the project be exempt from CEQA pursuant to section 15301 existing facilities and 15303 new construction or conversion of small structures, and adopt a resolution approving planning and zoning permit number 23-500-03 special use permit subject to certain findings and conditions. This concludes staff presentation. Thank you.